years back, we were in the same school, and all three of us were outstanding students, spending more time outside the class than inside. And that gave us a lot of time to talk about all the things which were not important but gave us joy. So we were in pursuit of joy for the last so many years. And then as life would take us, we drifted apart. I found a career in many cities, so did he. And of course he went abroad, and we kind of lost our ways. And thanks to social media, we were reunited. And a couple of years back, a strange thing happened. This gentleman was in Calcutta for a personal visit, so was I. And it so happened that we spoke that morning. He dropped into my house. I saw him after 37 years. And we kind of started from where we left. And that's what happens with childhood friends. 37 years, we started with, I think, a cup of tea, and eventually had 4 cups of tea in a span of 2.5 years. He told me a few incidents from his career and his travels, which I found extremely interesting. And I probed a little further. Some of them were so interesting that I could almost see some visuals. Some of you who know me, I'm a little bit into art. So for me, visuals are very important, and some visuals started forming in my mind. And I said, hey, you know what, this is a great idea. You have some great stories to tell. And I maybe try and give some of those stories a form and a shape. So why don't we do something? After about 6 months or so, we met up with Gautam, and the 3 of us met together, again in Calcutta. And this time we were serious because some of the stories had formed by them. And we said, why don't we start off Dig Tales? And that's how Dig Tales was born. And then the rest is history. The rest is coronavirus, lockdown. Some of those things actually helped us because we had a lot more time to focus on what we were doing. And we said, why don't we try and create the magic of storytelling using 24 frames and maybe, you know, a few pages here and there. And we started with the journey. Eventually we said, let's stop, because we've got about 12 stories. Now we've got to sandwich these 12 stories between 2 hardcovers. So we had no idea about publishing. So we found a publisher referred to us by a very, very dear friend of ours. And in our entire journey, all we found were lots of friends who came in from, you know, unexpected sources. And a lot of people gave us a lot of advice. Some we could understand, some we could not. But eventually I think we said to ourselves, the journey is more important than the destination. And we said, why don't we kind of, you know, get onto this train and see where it stops. The train stopped eventually a month back when I had the opportunity of holding the Uncanny in my hand for the very first time. It's almost like the same feeling of holding your newborn. And then I did some very crazy things. I'm not ashamed to say those to you. The first thing I did to the book was I smelt the book. I don't know how many of you buy books and you smell it. Huh? Thank you very much for being honest. I think it's more around all the senses put together. So I smelt the book, opened the pages, felt the pages. I just was, I remember working on an ad campaign many years back from an agency called Lintas. This was for a newspaper called The Telegraph. And we were searching for a word, and that word now is available and registered with the thesaurus. And that word was called unputdownable. There is no word like that, or there was no word like that in Webster's or Merriam prior to that. But then we said, what the hell, let's invent a word, unputdownable. So it was an unputdownable moment for us. And we said, okay, let's launch it in on Amazon and Flipkart and through the publisher channels. And then we found Kindle channels through Google Play and Apple, iBooks and Kobo, and we said, let's have fun. Then we figured out the challenges. Each day was a new challenge. We figured out that the Republic of Saudi Arabia does not allow Amazon. So we had to find another way of going there through Amazon.ae, which of course had limited download. Then UK, for some reasons, with due respect to the British and their twisted thinking, would never buy things from Amazon.com. They always have to buy things from Amazon.co.uk. I don't think it's I think it's a very British thing, you know. So anyway, so we tried to list it in Amazon.co.uk and it's selling through there. And of course, there is our homegrown Flipkart, which is helping us. The second big happy problem we faced after the book was launched was within 48 hours, we came across a train like this, you know, which was coming from the other end of the tunnel. We thought there was something which was end of light, but that was actually an approaching train. And we said to ourselves, holy cow, Amazon stock is all gone in 1 day or 2 days. So there was no stock of books in Amazon. So hardcover wasn't selling because there was no stock. And then we made frantic calls to Amazon and said, okay guys, don't worry, we're going to take care of this problem within 24 hours. And they did keep their promise. So each day is a new challenge. Small challenges. Like today there is a uncanny challenge. Time to come here was 5:30 and Shobhushachida, you have to pay a fine of 500 rupees for coming at 6 o'clock. But knowing it's Hyderabad, we still don't have 50% of the people who have all confirmed. But I'm sure they'll eventually come. But I will not be there because I will be there watching India versus Australia. But anyways, thanks very much for making time on a Sunday. I know how important Sundays are for all of you.